Hey everyone, this is V.T.C, and today I want to talk about the most mysterious faction in Nikke, the V.T.C. There'll be spoilers up to the current main chapter at 46. Spoilers beware. A little more about the V.T.C. The V.T.C stands for the Vatican City, a powerful religious faction in the world of Nikke. We know several things. The first is that the current day V.T.C no longer exists, and that the V.T.C used to be the most powerful faction with the most advanced technology, that not even the central government had the power to touch them. But what happened? Where did they go? And how involved are they in shaping the world of Nikke? The earliest mention, outside of small scraps of lore, of V.T.C in the game would be during Red Ash, which takes place during the First Reclamation War. A faction called the V.T.C existed. We were told they were a religious faction where a bunch of Nikkes hail from. For example, Rapunzel. And they were mostly in charge of corruption research. There were a lot of back and forth with Red Hood and Rapunzel, but we never really met any of the V.T.C in person. And if we look at Overzone, which takes place near the end of the First Reclamation War, they casually mentioned that the V.T.C no longer exists, and they are now the central government. What exactly happened here? Well, with the latest updates, we finally figured it out. With Goddess Fall and some of the newest chapters, we find out that V.T.C was ended by Anderson himself. He took down the majority of the upper echelon of the V.T.C, and the central government used that chance to wipe the rest of them out. With the leadership all dead, the V.T.C was basically dissolved and combined with the current central government. On paper, though, there were still factions surviving around the arc, including up around the Second Reclamation War, where we see Old Mustang working alongside them. The timeline of Princess also takes place much later than the time of Old Mustang, many years later, as Ingrid is now the leader of Elysian. Princess being the one true leader of V.T.C and was eventually betrayed by her own faction and killed, meaning V.T.C is now leaderless. But what was V.T.C up to? Okay, let's take a step back. Where do raptures come from? The two biggest theories is, one, they came from outer space and they were invasive alien species. Or two, they were a man-made accident gone wrong. I was a firm believer of the latter, but after reading more of the V.T.C lore, I can now safely say it was no accident. It was basically confirmed the raptures were started by the V.T.C. Even the name alone, Raptures, holds some religious meaning. From one of the notes, we can clearly see they were working on something called the Mechanical Messiah Project. The Queen, maybe? They were also in charge of corruption, with Red Shoes basically perfecting the current strain of corruption, doing weird research as fusing Nikkes and Raptures, which we can possibly see leading up to Heretics, as Heretics all started off corrupted Nikkes, as well as using that strain on Cinderella herself, turning her into Anna Chiro. But corruption itself is another video I already talked about extensively, and the arc also controls the means of corruption, and every strain of corruption seems different, blah 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 blah. Okay, it's a mess. But we know that Red Shoes have been going around injecting random Nikkes with corruption. We see this with Sneuda. She is also working with the Raptures in the latest chapter. Okay, but that's not important. Why do I feel that they created the Raptures, or even the Nikkes themselves? If we go back to the takeover of the Ark during the First Reclamation War, the V.T.C was dissolved and the technology was stolen by Macilis. What was that technology? We learned that it was Deep. I had a theory that Deep were AIs and they were in charge of making and maintaining the giant Rapture core inside the Ark and the elevator. I was wrong on the AI part, but they were in charge of the core. In fact, if we read the notes in the latest chapter, the V.T.C built the giant Rapture core and the space elevator. If they can build Rapture cores, they can build Raptures. Why would you need a core of that size? Unless you were building a Rapture of that size. Let's say a Messiah-sized Rapture, the Mechanical Messiah. Was the entire arc planned to be a giant Rapture, and that was meant to eat the entirety of humanity to become the Mechanical Messiah? to join a higher plane of existence inside the Rapture God itself? Is the Ark dooming itself by keeping the core alive by feeding the dead bodies of humans to it? We know that the Ark can move, so it's basically a metal body that can move, powered by a Rapture core. That's exactly what a Rapture is. Is this what they were truly making with the Ark? We don't know for sure. For now. They also have technology far surpassing modern day Nikke's. Remember, Nikke technology was found technology. According to Cecil, the nymph technology to make Nikke's was found. No one really know where they came from and how Nikke's are built. But I think I do know now. My theory is that it was stolen technology from V.T.C. Look at how much stronger deep made Nikke's are. We have them combining the cores of Red Hood and Rappy. Also the princess, the head of the V.T.C, making Neon's model. And Miscilla is saying they have no idea how that technology works. What's to say that they didn't make the nymph and kept it secret the entire time? Mihara was also able to combine a Rapture core and a Nikke core, creating basically a heretic. But Nikke technology isn't the only thing they were good at. They also had advanced medical technology. One, they struck a deal with Old Mustang to cure all of his diseases. In notes we also find out they are able to clear up old wounds and regenerate lost limbs. Wait, that sounds similar to someone. The commander? Project AD was hidden deep inside the Ark. It was in the forbidden area of where Deep was kept. Was it a V.T.C research project? They tried to use Anderson as research for Vapos. Who's to say that the research didn't yield any results? He was stuck there for 20 years, until he broke free. What did they do during those 20 years? Snow Crane mentioned she was there at the very start of the Ark, and she knew what Project AD was. It means the commander is very, very old, and he just woke up recently. Could the V.T.C have pulled a, 4 beasts and extracted some of his essence down there and made a bunch of mini commanders inside labs, fusing them with V.T.C tech? And the only one that survived was our commander. Maybe. The V.T.C has done a lot of shaping in the world of Nikke, yet we know basically nothing about them. We, the commanders, have never met a living member of the V.T.C. Rapunzel aside, she's not really part of that faction anymore after becoming the Goddess Squad. So that's why I call them the most mysterious faction. We have no idea what their goals are. If there are even any more living leadership of the V.T.C, did they just die off? Or are they just biding their time? Did they really make the Raptures? If so, what's their goal? There's just so much we don't know, and I can't wait to find out more about them. And if you have any theories, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give it an upvote. If you don't, give it a downvote. Either way, thank you for watching.